A joke about Lord Krishna, it got applause. A joke about Jesus Christ got punishment. That's Indian secularism in a nutshell. In a comedy competition, a school student makes fun of Lord Krishna. Everyone laughs, the judges applaud the student and they give him the second prize. Another student comes up and makes fun of Jesus Christ and his wine story. This time, the judges hush the student up. They scold him and even have him apologize. And this isn't about one competition, it's a lot bigger than that. You make a donation to a Hindu temple and the money goes to the government. The temple is controlled by a government board. Churches and mosques, they run independently. Take family laws. A Hindu cannot have multiple wives, but a Muslim can. When the Uniform Civil Code is discussed, a law that would give equal rights to all our citizens regardless of religion, it's called an attack on minorities. Take the Article 370, which gives special rights only to Kashmir. When this is discussed, it's called anti-minority. The Ayodhya dispute, perhaps the most telling example. For decades, politicians have used this problem to polarize voters. But finally in 2019, the courts made a decision not based on religious sentiment, but based on archaeological evidence. And today it continues to be a problem. Look at the Waqf Board issue. The Waqf Board can unilaterally decide to take your land from you and you can do nothing about it. Why is limiting the powers of this body a logical thing to do such a big problem? And take our textbooks, especially history. Yes, learning about Mughal history is important, it was part of our country, but why don't we learn about any Hindu history? Don't we deserve to know about Sambhaji Maharaj, Shivaji Maharaj, the Sheras, Cholas, Pandyas, the Vijayanagara Empire? Why don't we read anything about them in our textbooks? And then there's the Sabarimala issue. Muslim beliefs like the hijab and niqab, they're celebrated. Then why are Hindu beliefs mocked? The list just goes on and on. Here's the thing. The modern Nehruvian version of secularism has been corrupted, perverted to the core so it can be used for political manipulation. Today we're diving deep into India's most dangerous political deception, fake secularism. It's a story that threatens the soul of India. Let's talk about secularism a little. The word secularism is relatively modern, but for India, it's a concept that has existed for centuries. But let's look at the root of the word first. Meet George Jacob Holyoake, a British social reformer who was put in prison after declaring in public that he didn't believe in God. While rotting in jail for 6 months, this man came up with a word that changed the world as we knew it. He coined the word secularism, which comes from its Latin root saeculum, which means worldly or of this generation. His idea was simple but revolutionary. He said religion should be separate from state. Religion should be irrelevant to governance. He wasn't against religion, he just meant religion should be private and should have nothing to do with governance. Now hold your thought, because this land of India was practicing something more profound than Holyoake's version of secularism for centuries before he was born. While Europe was burning heretics and fighting religious wars, something extraordinary was happening in India. It's a culture so deeply ingrained in the society that it didn't even require a name. Let's go back 2300 years. Emperor Ashoka, after the Battle of Kalinga, carved these words into stone. One who reverences one's own religion and condemns others does injure one's own religion most certainly. And Ashoka wasn't alone. The Indus Valley civilization over 4,500 years ago shows no evidence of priestly rule. In fact, archaeological evidence shows that they were most likely ruled by merchant councils, not religious authorities. As early as the 1st century CE, Jewish refugees who fled the Roman Empire found refuge in Kerala in India. The local rulers allowed them to build synagogues and they had a good life here. The Parsis fled Islamic conquest in Persia and they settled in Gujarat in India, and later they went on to become titans of industry and trade. So if the land of India has such a deep tradition of religious harmony, why do we have these problems today? The answer lies in the most cynical political manipulation that we've ever seen. When India became independent in 1947, Pakistan chose to become an Islamic state. Contrary to what everyone thought, India became a secular state. And the version they chose, it was Nehru's version of secularism. True secularism means keeping religion out of state affairs. It means religion has no place in governance. But Nehru's version of secularism was something different. It meant Sarva Dharma Sambhava, equal respect for all religions. It sounds noble, right? But it's actually dangerous and twisted. The political parties of India figured out that equal respect could be weaponized. They figured out that if you give minorities what they want, if you give them special privileges, they could be treated as vote banks. Ignore the majority's concerns. If anyone questions it, just call them communal. And thus was born India's most dangerous political virus, pseudo-secularism. Today, India faces its greatest threat on genuine secularism, and not from religious extremists, but by people who claim to be the guardians of secularism. The politics of vote banks has created what experts call competitive communalism. It means each side mobilizes their own religion. For example, Hindu nationalists use minority appeasement as a rally cry. On the other hand, the minorities use fear of Hindu majoritarianism. The result, genuine secularism, the idea that state and religion should be separate, has become impossible in our country. Recent incidents like cow vigilantism, love jihad, communal riots, these aren't isolated incidents, they're symptoms of a deeper disease in our society. When politics is organized around religious identity, violence becomes inevitable. The solution is not more fake secularism, it's about returning to this land's ancient roots. Not equal respect for all religions, but separation of religion and state, irrelevance of religion in governance. Like this land has always known, true strength comes from unity in diversity, not division based on faith. If you like this video, definitely give it a like and share it across with your friends. If you'd like to see more videos on similar socio-political issues, consider subscribing to this channel. And if you'd like to see more of my content, you can do so with these links. Thank you.